Well, hello, my beautiful friends. This is Sydney, aka Spiritual Muse, aka Crystals of Quartz, and I'm here today to talk to you about a full moon in Pisces, which takes place here on the East Coast on September the 4th, which is a Saturday, at 12:33 a.m. Now, it is actually taking place on Friday the 13th, September 13th at 9:33 on the Pacific Coast. So a lot of people are kind of freaking out about this full moon Friday the 13th energy. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't need to freak out because the history of Friday the 13th is actually a lot different than we know it to be today. It's not actually this scary day. It's actually the day of Venus. And it's actually the day of love, the divine feminine, all these beautiful, wonderful things. But unfortunately, over time in history, with prejudices against women and, witch trials and things like that, they have made it to be a less than auspicious and rather harmful day to the divine feminine. So let's take back Friday the 13th and let's realize that this is actually a beautiful, wonderful day to celebrate a Pisces full moon, because Pisces is the only sign of our zodiac that dwells entirely in the water. We may have some other signs like Cancer that, in and out of the water, but Pisces is completely dwelling under the water, right? So this has to do with our subconscious and those deep, deep waters of our divine feminine, right? So it goes perfect with a Venus day or a Friday the 13th. And this can really bring about a deep energetic release and an emotional ending. Pisces is also the 12th sign of the zodiac, so it's the last sign of the zodiac. So not only are we at the end of a moon cycle, we're actually at the end of a zodiac cycle as well, which makes this a really powerful time to let go, a really powerful time to do all the things we do at the end of a moon cycle on the full moon, which is to really let go and prepare ourselves to grow anew with the next moon cycle. So we also have some interesting stuff going on with Neptune, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So we have really a lot of this emotional stuff going on, a lot of this kind of subconscious, possibly fantasy, interesting stuff going on that's coming up right now. So we have Jupiter square Neptune, which is going to lead to embarrassment or disappointment. Being skeptical is safer than gullibility, right? Gullibility, being gullible essentially, is safer right now. So it's safer to be skeptical than to just assume that everyone has your best interest at heart, right? So be skeptical, don't get yourself into a bad situation. We also have Mars opposite Neptune, which can bring about discouragement, weakness, inadequacy, and competition and misdirected energy. Your expectations may be out of touch with reality. That comes into play with the whole Neptune Pisces thing, because Neptune and Pisces, they're really dwelling in the subconscious, they're dwelling in the fantasy rather than always the reality. So just remember that you also have to be paying attention to both worlds, right? Now, the last thing that's going on in Neptune is that we have the moon conjunct Neptune. So this increases emotional sensitivity and insecurity and confusion. Awesome. And this is going to bring about reminding us the difference between fantasy and reality. And it might not be quite the most lovely awakening. It might be a little bit of a rude awakening. It's something we're going to have to all of a sudden be jolted to, but in the end, it's going to be the best for us, right? And we'll get into more of that in just a minute or two. But we also have Mars square Jupiter. Now here we're going to get into a little Jupiter stuff, and then we'll go back to Mars, and then we go to Pluto. So Mars square Jupiter. This is going to bring about a lot of energy because Mars is a go-getter. It's going to bring about initiative, risk-taking, but we want to avoid impulsive actions, right? A lot of stuff is going to come up relating to Mars as well in terms of these impulsive actions. And actually, while I'm on that topic, I'll jump to the moon opposite Mars, which is going to bring about moodiness, short-temperedness, and minor irritations can turn into fights. Relationships can suffer from impulsive actions or fights and aggressive instincts. So you want to channel your energy into hard work and exercise to avoid this hostility. Now, personally, in my life, this full moon energy came at me just about a week early, and I had a awful falling out with someone in my life that had been a negative influence for a long time, a very aggressive person already, and the aggression just became all of a sudden directed towards me due to financial concerns of that person. Now, those financial concerns all of a sudden were directed at me as if I was, some sort of a villain in this situation. And this actually happened with two different people in my life, not just one, all at once, all around the same time, because guess what? I wasn't quite ready for it. I wasn't expecting it, and it happened completely out of the blue. But in the end, it's going to work out better for me tenfold. So it might just happen to you. Things might fall apart. Just remember that they're going to be okay and that it's all going to come out better in the end for you. The universe always has your back. So just remember that. Now, another thing that's going on is we have the moon square Jupiter. So Jupiter's coming into play again. So we have Mars square Jupiter and the moon square Jupiter. So this can bring about overconfidence and excess. And you're going to want to watch out for disloyalty, right? So just pay attention to people's actions and also be careful with your own actions. You don't want your actions to betray who you truly are in your heart center, right? Whoo, lots of good stuff going on. And finally, we have the moon sextile Pluto. I'm talking fast because I got a lot of stuff to tell you about. And I'm really excited about this part because it's really interesting to me that the moon is sextile Pluto, and Pluto also has this whole thing about the subconscious, right? It's powerful, it's intense, it's adding to this energy of the subconscious. All of these things that have been hidden are now coming to the surface. That's why I'm having issues with people in my life that weren't communicating with me about the way things really were and the way they perceived things. And then everything just kind of came to the point where it boiled up and it had to explode. Now, in your life, this can play out in a couple different ways. So these deeply buried feelings are being exposed, right? Out of nowhere. You might have had no idea. You might have thought maybe there was a miscommunication. You might have thought maybe, hey, I can tell her not speaking to me. But anyway, these things are going to come up. You can't hide how you feel forever. The moon especially is going to bring those out of you. So relationships can evolve deeper through this, or they can implode. And in my case, they imploded and I'm thrilled about it, right? So just let your intuition guide you. Hopefully you can allow it to guide you maybe a little sooner than I did, so you're not taken quite so by surprise. But if you are, it's going to be okay. You will get through it and it's going to turn out amazing for you. And I have one more thing to tell you that made me feel so much better, which is that this full moon is in the constellation of the Phoenix. And the phoenix, if you're familiar with mythology, is this amazing mythological bird that dies, burns, and comes back from the ashes as a stronger, more beautiful bird. And that is what's going to happen for us, my friends. So let it burn, let things fall, as the card in the tarot goes, the tower, let that tower crumble so that you can build things back up stronger through that foundation. And it's not going to be easy to begin with. It might be painful, but it's all going to be better in the end, my friends. Let me tell you, because sometimes at the end of a cycle, it all just has to crumble down so that we can start fresh and start with a healthier foundation and start with healthier selves. So the Phoenix is a pioneering, powerful, ambitious constellation, and it's a wonderful thing to have at the end of our zodiac cycle here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this movie. I tried to make it nice and short. There was a lot going on. I think I just called this a movie. It's really a video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to read the blog on it, it might be a little bit more in depth. It pretty much covers the same stuff, but that's always on my website, crystalsofquartz.com. If you want any kind of readings related to the moon, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm more than happy to do a reading for you. We can do tarot, we can do runes, we can do the short astrology readings, which tell you where the moon is at, which house of yours the moon is in, and how that relates extra to your life. Yeah, this is awesome. This is going to be good, remember. And it's going to probably be feeling pretty heavy right now, pretty hard. But just remember that it's all going to turn around, and just remember that those deep waters of your subconscious are there with you, and just pay attention to them and let them soothe you, and maybe take a nice, warm, divine feminine ritual bath if you have the time to today or tomorrow. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you have any other suggestions of videos you'd like to see about anything spiritual, anything occult, even mythological, I'm pretty good on that stuff too. You just let me know and I'm happy to make you a video. Love and light, and thank you so much for watching as always. May the moon bless you.